Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm talking a little bit quiet today because my boyfriend is still asleep and I don't particularly want to wake him up, but hopefully that doesn't bother you. So we are starting week 3 of my #Plantober, where we are planning our novels for NaNoWriMo 2020, but of course these videos can be used for whenever you want to write a book and you need a little bit of guidance. So before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, because nobody's leaving me any comments, so I don't know if anybody's actually watching these. So if you do watch this, just leave a comment of anything down below. Even if you want to just insult me, at least I know that I'm not just shouting into a void. But please don't insult me, or you can insult me, I don't care. So if you're coming into this video and this is the first one you're seeing, don't forget to go back and watch previous videos, so I'll put some links up here and get caught up, and then we can go into this video. So today and this week we are going to be adding more to our Pinterest board, just because it's a great way to keep the excitement alive and keep your brain coming up with new ideas and themes and visualising your story. The next challenge for this week is a pretty big one, and it can sound scary, but it's not, I promise you. It's really going to help set you up for the last week of prepping and planning. So this week I'm going to ask you to start a beat sheet. Now, maybe you don't know what a beat sheet is, which is fine, because I didn't know what a beat sheet was until I did a course on writing for television. And I found writing a beat sheet was really ridiculously helpful, and then I realised that it would be really ridiculously helpful when writing novels as well. So a beat sheet is basically where you take a piece of paper, post-its. I'm using a Trello board, so I've just set up a new board where I'm going to write down all my beats. Effectively, you're writing every important point that happens in your story. So as an example, a few beats from the Twilight story, because for some reason I'm in Twilight mode at the moment, would be things like Bella moves to Forks, Bella gets her car, Bella goes to school and meets Edward, and then Edward saves Bella's life. So it's like the pivotal points of the story where everything else in between is just leading up to those moments. So my biggest suggestion would be, when you're writing out these points to your story, write as many as you want, because next week we will be fine-tuning and distributing the beats throughout the story. But write as many as you want, within reason. And the easiest thing to do, I think, is write it on cards or post-its or things, apps where you can move things around. So personally, this isn't like a sponsored video or anything, but I use Trello, which is a free app, and I'll do a link down below, which is a great tool for planning things and just keeping an idea board for different things. So it's kind of like Pinterest, but where you can basically write things down and move them around. It's very difficult to explain, but I'll leave the link below and I would recommend checking it out. And there is the phone app, but it's also great on desktop if you just need a fuller picture. So I'm going to be doing my beats on my phone, and then next week I'll be using my computer to do the next part of the planning. So you're going to want to be able to move them around easily. So writing them on one piece of paper isn't going to be super helpful, because it's going to be difficult to chop and change. But yeah, just take some time this week to write down all the beats that you want to happen, all the pivotal moments that you want to happen in your story. Now that you know the start, the middle and the end, you should be able to kind of plot your way through to those points. And hopefully you will find, as you're doing this, that your story will start to come to life more, because you'll be joining up all those little moments that you already have in your head. So it's just that next level of detail when it comes to planning your story. Lastly, for this week, when you're doing your beat sheets, you'll probably notice obviously that you're going to be putting your characters into those beats. So a really great thing to do whilst you're doing this is think about what you want your character arc to be. So for your protagonists, and if you have any villains, whilst you're doing your beat sheets, Potentially you can write this on a separate piece of paper, or even in the beats you will want to think about what your character, good or bad, is trying to overcome, and then how they overcome it. So you can do that however you want. You could do that in the form of a timeline, or write it on the beat sheets, or write it on a separate piece of paper. But whilst you're kind of planning the finer details of your story, you can start to plan the finer details of your characters' stories as well. So I'll tell you a little bit about what mine will be about. My main character is going to be somebody who is very much a standalone person who does everything on their own, which is often to their detriment. So she is going to be, her character arc will be about learning how to trust other people. So she's going to have an arc where she doesn't trust anybody to help her, and then eventually she will have to rely on other people to guide her and to trust. She is also having to try and find and save her sister, so that's going to be part of her character arc, in that she's going to learn what her mission is, and then she's going to find something that opposes that mission, and then she's going to eventually overcome what's standing in her way. Just some little things to consider. Again, you can go into as much detail as you want. It depends how much you like to live on the edge. For me, I like to do this sort of planning but not put too much detail in, because I really do like to find my way as I'm writing. But these signposts are really going to help me keep on track. Have a great time trying to figure these things out. With your beat sheets, just really think about what points you think are going to be important in your story, because next week we are going to be breaking down your story idea into 5 stages, and we're going to be using your beats to make sure that these stages are all kind of equal and balanced in terms of what happens in them. You don't want to write too many, but you can amend and potentially remove some if you've got too much going on in your story. It depends what kind of story you're writing. Hopefully this is like a fun week where you start to really delve into the concept of writing a novel. For me, I think it's going to be difficult because I'm not 100% sure what's happening in my story, in terms of all the little bits in between what I know my start, middle and end is going to be. But that's what the beat sheet is for, and I know that whilst I'm writing them, all these pivotal moments, the story will start to open itself up to me and I'll figure it out. So if you're kind of thinking that this sounds really hard and you don't know what's happening in your story, this is where you have to rely on your brain. I can guarantee you that whilst you're doing this, your brain will come up with things that you didn't realise or think about until that moment. So have fun, relax, just enjoy doing it, and if you get stuck, let me know and I will see if I can help you come up with some ways to solve whatever is standing in your way. And yeah, I mean, I can't believe this is week 3 and we've only got 1 week left after this to fully finalise our plan, and then we are writing. Have fun and good luck. I'll see you later.